Hey there, welcome to day 10 of your Toned in 20 by 2. I am so jazzed, and yes, I'm using the word jazzed. I'm stoked, I'm jazzed, I'm thrilled to be moving into this final day of this series with you and seeing how your progressions have gone. Definitely let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're feeling stronger, if you're feeling ready, then pop down into one of these links below. I've definitely included links to No Frills, Just Flows, the Burnout to B.A.B.E program version, where you only go in and do 3 flows with me a week. And then also, there's a backdoor way to get into the full program, and that's by clicking the link below that is for taking the 1-week trial and then being able to apply that 1-week investment toward either the No Frills or the Total or Epic B.A.B.E versions. Epic B.A.B.E being all in, getting in on the Slack group, the Facebook group, all the lives, the training components that are laid out specific to your personal goals, and so much more. And Total B.A.B.E being that plus one-to-one coaching calls and Voxer support every single day. You'll have me in your back pocket anytime you're feeling like you need a little extra nudge, some daily meditation and guidance. I'm there for you. So without any further ado, let's get into today's flow and just see how far you've come. Okay, so we've done a lot of core connectivity and base work in the legs, some shoulders, some upper body, but really establishing our foundation all the way up in these last 2 weeks. And I'd like to finish on a high note that really brings all of that work together in a way that shows you how each component all the way along is building the strongest flow, the strongest you, the strongest body embodied that you get to experience. So let's come all the way down on the mat, reaching your seat to your feet. By now we know how to activate the underbutt, pulling the pelvic floor in and up, the solar plexus in and up, and coming all the way down to the mat. And then coming light in the toes so that you could lift the feet off the floor without much effort at all, making the hips heavy, closing the solar plexus in and up, taking the fingertips to the sky, and we'll use momentum for these first few like we would if we were very, very, very beginning our Pilates practice and just learning how to use our core. But we're not, so we'll also be activating in the right way. Taking an inhale, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale and coming up for 3, 2, 1. Now, reach your seat away, your solar plexus in and up, come down. Again, big breath in. Exhale and curl up for 3, 2, 1. And stretch the spine in half. Coming down, let's build upon this. Big breath in. Exhale, come up, hold, float the feet, shins parallel to the ground for 3, 2, 1, stretch the spine in 2 directions. Release the feet to the ground just like that. Repeat it again. Breathe in and breathe out. Balance for 3, 2, 1. Moving from this variation that's combining our roll up, our teaser, and Navasana into teaser. Big inhale, big exhale. Now lengthen the legs, turn out, lift the ribs away from the hips, get out of the lower back, turn the palms up for 3, 2, 1, bend, stretch the spine, come down. We have one more like this. Breathe in, breathe out, extend, lift for 3, 2, 1. Now reach the seat away, pull the solar plexus in and up, get longer, find Navasana for 3, 2, 1. Bring the feet down, roll the spine down, and take a breath, reconnecting your body to the earth. Fill up the back body with breath. Fill up the space around you. 2 2 more like that. Breathe in. Exhale, let go of the heat you've accumulated in the past few moments. One more time, relax the inner thighs, close the eyes down, ground into the earth, reset for this practice ahead. And exhale, using all the heat we've set into our body, melting us into this space, connecting us, mind to body, body to earth. And then allowing the eyes to float open, coming right back to our practice. Let's continue. Coming light in the toes again. Inhaling the arms overhead, big breath in. Exhale, in and up, lengthen, put it all together, lift, reach seat to feet, solar plexus, in and up. Bring the right shin in, and let's move into our single leg stretch. Press and switch. For 5, and resist. 4, and 3, resist. Activate the hip flexor. 2, switch. 1 more each side. Crisscross. Come up and over. Let's move into all fours and let that heat pour forward into the earth beneath our arms and legs. Rolling the shoulders back, starting to move through cat-cow. Shoulders go up, back, and down. The heart comes through the gate of the arms. The spine lengthens, the heart forward and the hips back, and lifting for 5. 4, push the ground away with the fingers, the shins, the ankles. 2. On 1, tilt the tailbone down, pull the pubic bone to navel, magnetize the front of the body to the back, and let the head fall heavy. Again, roll the shoulders, the heart comes through the arms, the spine gets longer, the hips get lighter. Breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now on 1, hold this shape. We've gone in the other direction with a lot of heat. Let's hold this shape and create some of the same on the back of the body. Stretch the right leg, lift the heel up high, cross over, and the other side for 3. Making bigger rainbows each time. 2, stirring the pot of the hip. 1, and now we're adding on more movement, so a little higher and a little broader. As far as you can go. 4, and 3. Reach, side waist activated. 2, the full barrel of the core turned on, and the hips involved all the way up. Let's heel toe that foot into the top of the mat. Tuck the opposite toes, lengthen the chest forward, and lift the back thigh, and move into the world's greatest stretch. Open that arm, spread the shoulder blades apart, pulling the right hip back, lifting the left thigh up, spread the shoulder blades even more, twist deeper for 3, 2. On 1, sweep the arm down and forward. Bring the palms to the ground. Now, you have the option to simply step back to plank or hook the knee to the shoulder, take this float, and press to plank. Either knees down first or full chaturanga. Come to the ground. Stretch the legs, stretch the arms. And we've been here before. Take a big breath into the low back. Exhale, push the ground down with the right hand, the left foot, lift up on the opposite limbs. And lower. Switch sides. Push down right foot, left hand, lengthen and lift in the chest, and all the way back down. Everything lifts, breathe in, float up. 4, 3, 2, hands under shoulders, tuck the toes, either pressing into the knees or full reverse chaturanga to plank, head to the heart, heart to the spine. Hips high, heels low, Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. Breathe here, stretch through the fingers, wrap the triceps back, show the biceps to the top of your mat, and let the shoulders come into the ears. We want there to be this sense of handstand where, you know, just like when we stand in our legs, our hips aren't jammed up into our back. They're actually descending from our spine, and then our legs descending from their attachment to the hips. So the shoulders and the arms should function in the same way. And make the heels heavy, the thighs strong for 3, 2, and 1. Let's ripple the spine forward. Release the knees to the ground. And back through cat-cow 2 times. Rolling the shoulders, opening the heart, lifting the hips. Breathe in. 5, 4, 3, 2. Start from the hips. Ripple up the spine. Stay stacked, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. And again, breathe in. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2. Stretch the left leg back. Cross it over the body. And we have small rainbows for 3. And over. 2. Bring it over. 1 more. All the way around and start to make it bigger for 5. And cross. 4. And 3. Keep those shoulders strong. 2. Keep the hips aligned even though there's a little wiggle. 1. And heel toe that foot over to the outside of the hand. Again, we're tucking the right toes, lifting the right thigh. The right hand comes near the left foot, and we twist the ribs, the navel towards the left inner thigh. As you pull that left hip back, strengthen that right thigh up, push out of the ground, and reach the shoulder blades apart through the fingertips for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1. We're reaching back and scooping through quickly. Plant the palms. Again, you have the option to step straight back or hook the knee and lift the heel in your Ardha Bakasana. Step to plank. And Chaturanga. Release the body all the way down. Again, stretch the feet. Lengthen the arms. Push down in the left hand, the right foot. Lengthen out to lift up in the opposite limbs for 3, 2, 1. Lower. Opposite side. Press down to lift up for 3, 2, 1. And stretch on the way down. Pull the navel in and up, the solar plexus to the back. Breathe in. And float everything up for 5. Get longer. 4, 3, 2. Tuck the toes. Palms come under shoulders. And we reverse into plank. Downward facing dog. And breathe again for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now on 1, let's start to roll the spine forward, come about 1/3 of the way up. Hold this engagement of the solar plexus through the back body. And with a strong straight right leg, walk that foot forward. Strong straight left leg, walk forward until your heels are on the ground and your thigh muscles are lifting strong. We're still reaching dynamically through the fingers, wrapping the triceps, pulling the solar plexus in and up. And then we're stepping the right foot to the width of the mat and forward some more. And left foot, same to the opposite side. Keep the weight strong in the length of the fingers and the knuckles. And roll the solar plexus through the upper back, pulling the pelvic floor in and up. Come onto the tips of the toes and just play with the sense of shifting forward. And then weight right back into the heels 3 times. So we're just priming the body for a sense of pike pressing to handstand. We have 1 more here. Press long, hug the arm muscles into the bone, lift through the elbows, stay long, pull the front of the belly into the back body as you come up on your toes, lower the heels down, and turn the feet out. Sink the hips into Malasana and shift side to side. keeping your hands forward and your spine curled a little bit, so not to shock it by going straight up. And while you're rocking side to side, bring your hands into prayer. Push your arms into your inner knees and slowly start to shift the shoulders as well as the hips until it feels nice enough to lift the heart up a little higher and start to come to stillness for 5, 4, 3, and 2. Now on 1, we're going to bring the hips out behind us, engage the glutes, get nice and strong. Fingertips to the ground. Turn the toes in. Heels in. Toes in. Not to worry, we're not doing those millions and millions of squats. We are taking the left hand to the left hip. We are playing with balance. So if you happen to do, I believe it was Friday's Instagram live 10-minute tone, you're going to have learned a lot about hugging the hips to the midline, so we need to access that right now. And if you haven't, and this practice feels a little like a struggle bus, go visit that practice and then come back and see how much stronger and tuned in to your hips and your balance center you can really be with these little tweaks in practice. We're taking the peace fingers around the big toe and then coming up nice and slow. So as best you can, hug the midline, start to strengthen and pull that pelvic floor, magnetize the pubic bone to the navel, and come up nice and tall with a standing leg bent. We're playing with Padangustasana as our peak pose. So driving the heel down as if it's going through a valley, out, and then using the shoulder to pull the spine back and up. Bend the knee again one more time. Everything bends, goes down, out like a little wave, and up. Bring the knee in, step the leg down. Let's take one formal vinyasa with the feet a little wide, the low back free. Inhale, Utthita Hasta. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Soften the knees, lengthen forward, and from Ardha Uttanasana, walk the hands forward a little bit. Step the legs back to plank. Pause for a moment, pull the heels back, and then pull the mat underneath you to shift the body forward, Chaturanga. So notice how that movement kind of stretched the front of the abdominal wall and kept everything pulled in and up and lifted for the work that we're doing. Sort of sealing the notion of the practice in the body. From here, lengthen the arms out. We're staying with this variation on backbend because we're not trying to reverse a lot of the front core work right now. We still have another side of Padangustasana. So pressing down on one side, lifting out and up on the other. Breathe in, 3, 2, 1, lengthen to lower. Switch sides. Reach. Stretch the body in 2 directions on this half X axis and lengthen down. One more time, take a big exhale, pull the navel to spine. And lengthen out to come up for 5, 4, hiccups, 3, 2, hands under shoulders, toes tucked, push to plank or Chaturanga Dandasana, head to the heart, heart to the spine, hips high, heels low, breathe in, stretch long. And let's play with that pike press again. So start to roll the front body through the back, come about a third of the way up. With strong straight legs, pull up into the hip socket, step forward. Feel the stretch all the way down the back of the leg. Do the same on the left side. And then keep that connection belly to back. We're stepping wide and forward now. So right leg comes out. You might recognize that maneuver from a Pilates practice to look a little bit like elephant in your reformer sessions. Keep pushing the mat down and pulling the front body in, up and back as you bring the left leg forward and wide. Pause here. Again, we're reaching long dynamically through the fingers and the thumbs, staying connected in that L shape of the hand to the ground. And then pulling the front belly in and up and strong as you rise up onto the toes. Keep the legs straight. Release the heels. 2 more times, just a prep for pike. Push the ground down, pull everything in and up, and release. 1 more time, lengthen the arms, keep the elbows strong and stretched. Come up on the toes, and lower everything down. Turn the toes out, and wiggle the hips all the way down until you arrive again in this sort of arched back Malasana. This time, snuggle the right shoulder or elbow inside the right knee. Reach the arm wide and reach the left arm out and up of the heart and stretch between the shoulder blades just like we did in that rotation in our lunge. And if you're feeling like it, you can certainly play with binding, but even right now, I'm not warm enough to reach all the way around. So if that's not happening for your body, be kind, be patient. Don't force anything, and remember, we're not that hot right now, so we don't want to force anything in the joints and end up risking injury. Press the elbows wide as you come back through center, restabilizing the shoulders. And then snuggle the left side in, reach wide, stretch up, stretch the shoulder blades apart, twist deeper, and play with that bind if it feels right for you. For 3, 2, 1, come back, elbows inside the knees if you aren't already there, sitting higher out of your hips. Big breath in, big exhale. Take the fingertips to the ground, lift the hips halfway, keep the knees stacked over the ankles, and heel toe the feet to the midline of the mat. Right hand comes to right hip. Left peace fingers come around left big toe. We're hugging the inner thighs to the midline of the mat and the body, and coming up, bringing the left knee into the left armpit. Pubic bone magnetized to navel. And again, driving the heel down, out, drawing the shoulder back and up. Again, bend in, press, whoop, gonna lose balance. It's a very tricky posture, so let's get in there again. If you also fell through like me, it's okay. If you're still balancing, amazing. And push down, out, lift up, and bring it in. Step it down. And again, feet a little wide on the mat. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Soft knees, inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Walk the hands forward again. Step the legs back again. Now this time, we're going to seem like we're in this sort of baby version of downward dog. I want you to shift towards plank and then walk the hands further forward so that we're playing with a sense of long stretch in Pilates. Heels back. Push the mat forward with the hands to get longer, and then keep reaching the heels back as you pull the mat towards you, and the shoulders should be strong in the socket, the upper body shaking a little bit, and then shift all the way forward, chaturanga to the mat. Push yourself back on the mat if you got up as far as I did, and let's come all the way down. Now utilizing a little more Pilates to now open up the front body out of all of that. We'll start interlacing the hands at the low back. We're going to keep those knuckles intertwined and snuggle them up behind the heart. So for our double leg kick, drop the elbows wide, take the head to one side or another. Glue the inner thighs together. You might remember this from earlier in our practice. Bend the knees, hold. Push the knees away to get the front of the hips a little flatter on the mat, and keep that push as you bend again and move the legs a third time. For the fourth movement, stretch the legs long, lengthen everything out and up. Breathe in, and now hold. Turn your head the other way. Bring the knuckles up, the elbows wide, and everything down. Start again. So it's kick, stretch. Hold the stretch, kick further. Everything lengthens out and up. Look forward, breathe in. And knuckles up, elbows wide, everything down. One more time each side. Kick, stretch, kick, lengthen, breathe. And knuckles up, elbows wide, head down. Last one. It's kick, stretch, kick, lengthen, inhale. And palms under shoulders, legs go wide, everything softens down. Take the left arm wide on the mat. Spider the right fingers. Start to peel the right heel, knee, and hip. Open, open, open until we end up in this rotation. And press from the hip, through the knee, through the tips of the toes, into this scorpion twist for 3, 2, 1. Come back through the center, laying down the hip, the knee, the toes. Let's tuck the toes and lift up again. One more time, back through plank. Bring the knees to the mat. And we're going through something a little familiar, but shifting the way our body receives it. So instead of practicing that knee tucked version of our side bend or mermaid, we're going to stagger the legs in my favorite variation of this. So holding on to the heel, pushing it down, sinking the left hip, the right arm up, getting the side body long, press down to lift up, and over an imaginary barrel in the right side waist. Breathe into the left side, full body breath. And then exhale, come up center. We're only doing one, we're not reversing it because we have the other side to do of our scorpion. So right leg comes forward, bring the hands to the top of the mat, simply stretch back out. Right arm goes wide, left fingertips spider. Peel the foot, the knee, the hip off the mat. Walk the right leg forward a little bit. And again, it's from hip to knee to toes. We breathe in and stretch for 3, 2, 1. Come back through the middle. Lay it down long. And again, press up. One more time through plank, solidifying our center. Coming onto the knees, and this time, right foot in front, left foot in back. Press the heel down, sink the hip down, lift the right arm up, breathe in. Push as you go up and over this imaginary barrel in the left side waist, creating space on the side of the spine. Puff the breath into the right side of the ribs. Come up through the center. Bring the hands down to your sides. Cross the legs, take an easy seat. Bring the hands to prayer at the heart center. Let's lift the heart up towards the head and bow the head into that sacred space and pause. Feel the beat, the strong course of the blood through the heart, meeting the press of the thumbs against one another and against the body. Feel the shoulders as they slide up to the ears, hug back against the spine, and melt down towards the hips, giving the lungs more space to receive breath. Continue to drop your awareness in from all of that movement, all of that heat, all of that mindful instruction